I'm not really sure why I've always been drawn to Japan. It might be to do with the number of Japanese products that I was exposed to throughout my childhood. I mean, everyone remembers Pokemon, everyone remembers Mario, but I think it might be something different. Something about this land that's halfway across the world and so radically different, yet so intensely interesting that just drew my attention. The one thing I did know is that I had the week off work for Lunar New Year, and I wasn't about to let this opportunity to go to Japan pass me by.
Daegu Airport is tiny. It's so cute. It's one of the smallest airports I've seen. I'm here now in the heart of Tokyo. This is the site of the Imperial Palace, once Edo Castle, the home of the Japanese Empire, and now the home of the Emperor. And a public park, as it were. Down at the end is not the Imperial Palace, it is in fact the central train station, which looks like it's been lifted out of a European city and put here in the middle of Japan. This city's huge, but this area's quiet. I'm the only person here. But you can feel how big this city is. This is like the eye of the storm. It's quiet here, but you know there's twinkling lights off in the distance. There's something kind of magical about that. And so far, I've been here for a few hours. I like it. I'd be spending that night in one of Japan's famous capsule hotels, an experience I was greatly looking forward to and dreading in equal measure. I've been trying to find my hotel for a while and I'm not having a huge amount of luck. Because every street kind of seems to lead back around. Which is annoying because I don't really know where I am. Luckily I eventually found it and I went to check in. My coat and bag were locked in a locker downstairs, and behind each of these doors was a bed. So, wearing the pyjamas that the hotel had provided for me, I entered my capsule. And here's where things went a little bit wrong. You see, I did actually film me using some of these controls and showing you the TV, and the footage got corrupted. So here's some footage of what I actually did, which was do something relatively youthful and Japanese instead. After starting the next day off with the view from the top of the Kureta Shiadomi over the Tokyo Bay, I headed over to the Tsukiji fish market. This is the largest market of wholesale fresh meat in the world. Now, unfortunately, we weren't allowed inside the wholesale market itself,
but outside the premises were a whole range of markets, stalls, and even the first of many shrines I'd see on my visit. Nothing here is particularly cheap, but it is all very fresh. So, with the help of a friend I'd made earlier that day at the Capsule Hotel, we bought some sushi, found somewhere to sit down, and gave it a try. This is the result of the visit to the fish market. 2 things of sushi, which I'm going to try now.
Oh good lord, that one's fresh. It's very hearty. I think I've had sushi I preferred though, so that's interesting. Still, very nice. Well worth doing.
With lunch out of the way, it was time to take a little trip across the city to see 2 very important but very different Tokyo landmarks. So behind me is the temple of Zojoji, which is one of the main religious sites in Japan. It's the main site of Sojo Buddhism, which is the most practiced sect of Buddhism in the country. And if I pan the camera up, pointing out of the roof, that is Tokyo Tower behind it. Everything here is sort of in one area, but also with a lot of space. It's very odd. This site is important. In its current form, it's been here for almost 500 years, and it even has a history that predates that, when it was based in an entirely different part of the city. Across the road at the tower, things are a bit manic. The queues are there are kids shouting and screaming, there's music blaring everywhere. This is a 3-minute walk away, and it's so peaceful. I'm the loudest thing here, apart from maybe that kid in the background there. I'm the loudest thing here, and I'm trying to keep my voice down because of the peace. It's quite odd because the city kind of clamours at times. It has this sort of raucous noise, and it can be really loud, and then you'll just walk around a corner and it'll just... which is true of every city, but here it's really noticeable. And it's kind of charming. I like it. Speaking of loud and lively places, it was time to visit one.
This is Akihabara, the main electronic district, and I'm overwhelmed.
Akihabara is famous for 2 things. Well, 3 things, and the first of them is anime. Now, I saw Death Note once, and someone once explained to me what a Hatsune Miku was, so I'm pretty much an expert on anime, and I can confirm that, yep, that's an anime. Oh, you better believe that's an anime. That is so anime. Look at those, I know all these animes. These are animes. Look at this. This is so much anime right here. So much of it is anime. My favourite anime is Star Wars, and they even have figurines of my favourite Star Wars characters, C-3PO and Yoda. The second thing that Akihabara is famous for, and in fact the reason that I was there, is video game stores. Now, video games have a huge presence in Japan, which you can see as soon as you enter, mainly because both Sony and Nintendo are based in Japan. Even the traffic lights have live bars. And this is where I made another mistake. I bought this copy of Splatoon 2 because the Nintendo Switch is region free. Apart from, it turns out, Splatoon 2, which is fixed to the Japanese language, so it is genuinely unplayable because I can't understand the thing that's going on. But you should still go to the shop I went to, which is Trader 2, because it's a great shop. They just don't accept games from tourists if you try to sell them. The other thing that Akihabara is famous for is maid cafes. It's hard to explain these, but basically you are served by girls wearing very cutesy maid outfits, and it's a form of entertainment at a cafe. It wasn't really my thing. I was a little bit intrigued by the Soviet Union themed one, but it really wasn't for me, and I just headed out of Akihabara once I got what I needed.
Yeah, this is the next challenge, is finding the Airbnb for tonight. Ah, over there. Over there, I see it. Good. You'll notice that it's daytime because I forgot to film this when I meant to, and I have an actual bed, which I've already slept in, and it was lovely going from the hard surface of the capsule hotel to a proper bed.
I decided to finish my first day in Tokyo with a look at the unique drinking area of Golden Guy.
I've actually got in quite early. A lot of places are closed. Pretty much all the bars here only sit about 5-6 people.
This collection of streets behind Shinjuku is well known for its plethora of microbars that are fun because they're so intimate and, shall we say, unique in aesthetic.
The closed-in nature does feel like you're in a little bit of an underworld here, and some of the drink prices are a bit ridiculous, and you can clearly tell that it's been catered to tourists on some of these streets.
I eventually chose a bar that wasn't totally extortionate in its drink prices and proceeded to have a very good night out where I forgot to take any pictures or videos. Good night. I was eager to see the more youthful areas of Tokyo, and that's why I headed back over to Shinjuku the next morning, though not before making a certain stop along the way. Yeah, the Pokemon World Centre is what it says on the tin. It is just full of Pokemon merchandise. It's the Disney store, but for Pokemon. I quite appreciated these evil Pikachus, because it did confirm to me that Pikachu is indeed evil. Look, at the end of the day, it's a shop. It was fun, but it wasn't all that interesting. The cosplay convention outside was much more interesting, however.
Shinjuku is really modern most of the time, but just around the corner from the train station is this very traditional looking street. And when I say around the corner, I mean literally this wall on my right is where the trains go over. That's Shinjuku Station, the busiest station in the world, and this quiet looking street's just on the side of it. So there it is. Let's have a little look up, see what we find.
I was done with Shinjuku for now, so I headed off to the boutique-lined streets of neighbouring Shibuya.
I'm outside the Neizu Gallery in Tokyo, and this is a place of traditional Japanese art as opposed to a lot of contemporary galleries that are around the city. I can't take the camera in, well I can take the camera in but I can't take any pictures, so this is as far as you go basically, but I'll see what I can bring out for you.
The short answer to that is very little, but the gallery did have an impressive collection of screen paintings and sculptures.
So while I can't take you in the gallery itself, I can show you the garden, and it's really lovely. It's just a lovely garden with lots of bits of sculpture and tea houses and a few shrines. A lot of this is symbolism and a lot of it is representations of the Buddha. It's just a very pleasant garden.
The peacefulness was very welcome, because my next stop was totally mad.
Behind me is the Shibuya Scramble, the busiest pedestrian crossing in the world, and I'm going to try and cross it, so wish me luck. Oh shit me.
Shibuya is one of Tokyo's busiest wards, and the station behind this crossing is the 4th busiest in the world. So it's no surprise that this is a busy pedestrian crossing, But 3,000 people can cross this in any one go, and it is unbelievable.
I made it, I survived. Got it wrong twice, but I did it. It's hard to portray on camera the literal tidal wave of people that crosses this street every 60 seconds or so. You kind of have to see it yourself. It's like a force of nature. When I say tidal wave, it really is like that. You feel like you're going to get swept away in it, and that's actually what happened to me first time I tried to cross it. I was trying to get to the Starbucks across the road, which is like the golden standard of viewing for this intersection, and I just got sort of pushed in the wrong direction. And when I made it up to Starbucks, it was too busy to get a camera view in, so there's that. It's incredible.
With my time in Tokyo coming to an end, there are just a couple more things I wanted to tick off my list of things to do.
From one busy place to another, this is Harajuku's main shopping street, Takashita Street. Let's give this one a go. This is one of these things where if you don't know it's here, it's kind of difficult to find it, but I did know it was here, and I found it, yeah!
I'd started my visit with a skyline view, and it felt only fitting to finish it with another one.
I'm on top of the Metropolitan Government Building, and it's hard to see because of the reflection in the window here, but behind me is the view of Tokyo. It's in every direction, and as I'm going to show you on the screen in a moment, it stretches to the horizon in every direction. You can even see both the Tokyo Tower and the Tokyo Sky Tree from here, so I genuinely think this may be the best view of the city.
My time in Tokyo had come to an end, but I wasn't finished with Japan just yet. Next time I'm heading to the historic city of Kyoto, where I hope to get a bit of an insight into some of Japanese history and some of their older traditions and customs.